Welcome to Warriors of History, where we discuss badass warriors in history. Today we're diving into the story of a real-life superhero, Roy Benavidez. Strap in, because this isn't just any war story. It's an epic tale of guts, grit, and yes, even a bit of spit. Master Sergeant Roy Benavidez, a man whose courage under fire became the stuff of legends. Join us as we unfold the story of his extraordinary valor during the Vietnam War that not only saved lives, but etched his name forever in the archives of heroism. Born in 1935 in Cuaro, Texas, Roy Benavidez faced adversity from an early age. Orphaned as a child, he overcame countless challenges, driven by a steadfast resolve to succeed. His journey took a pivotal turn in 1965 when he enlisted in the Army, later becoming part of the elite Green Berets. Roy's story almost ended before it even started. Deployed in Vietnam in 1965, our hero had a bit of a, let's call it a foot faux pas with a landmine. So there Roy was, just doing his Green Beret thing in 1965, likely humming a tune, when boom, he steps on a landmine. Now in any normal situation, that's game over, right? But Roy? He's no ordinary man. After being told he would never walk again, Roy took that as a challenge to prove doctors wrong. With sheer willpower, guts, and probably an insane amount of physical therapy, Roy not only walks, he runs back into the fray. Yeah, you heard right. He literally walks off a landmine injury to go back to war. If that's not tough, I don't know what is. So when we talk about Roy dodging bullets and charging through enemy fire, remember this guy beat a landmine. Bullets probably looked at him and thought, nah fam, let's not mess with this one. Now back to our regularly scheduled heroics, because you know Roy's story is just getting started. All right folks, strap in, because we're about to dive deep into what's known as 6 hours in hell. This isn't just any story. This is about Roy Benavidez's legendary battle in the dense jungles of Loch Nin, Vietnam that defined the essence of heroism. Flash forward to May 2nd, 1968. A typical day in Vietnam? Not quite. Roy hears that a team of 12 Special Forces dudes are trapped, surrounded by an entire battalion. The team was outnumbered 100 to 1 and 3 helicopters had already failed to get them out. What does he do? The man known as Tango Mike, or that mean Mexican, grabs his medical bags, jumps on a helicopter, and like a boss, says, "Pilot, hold my beer." Metaphorically speaking, of course. As Roy's helicopter nears the firefight, the intensity of the situation hits. The LZ is hot, hot, hot. Bullets, grenades, the works. Our man Roy jumps from the chopper, armed with nothing but a knife and a medical bag, sprinting 75 meters through enemy fire to reach the pinned down team. The scene he finds is chaos personified. Wounded men, relentless enemy fire, and the odds stacked impossibly high. But does Roy flinch? No. He gets to work, first up administering medical aid, left and right under heavy fire. There he goes, charging through a hailstorm of bullets, all to save his buddies. The man is dodging death left and right, getting shot, hit by shrapnel, but does he stop? Nope. Roy is too busy being a badass. He's giving first aid with one hand, calling in airstrikes with the other, and just casually engaging in some hand-to-hand combat. It's like something out of an action movie, folks. Our man Roy is now a one-man army, and spoiler alert, he's not done yet. Over the next several hours, Benavidez carried the wounded to safety, gathered classified materials from the dead, and defended himself in hand-to-hand combat. When an enemy guerrilla stabbed Benavidez with a bayonet, Tango Mike pulled the blade from his arm and plunged his own knife into the man's chest, killing him. The battle finally coming to a close, Roy had saved at least 8 men, but was in terrible shape. While on the final evac chopper, another soldier stated Roy was holding his intestines in with his right hand, and his face had so much blood on it his eyes were crusted shut. During this battle, Tango Mike sustained over 37 wounds, including shrapnel, stab wounds, and bullet holes. After returning from the battle, Roy was presumed dead. He was mistaken for a dead enemy combatant due to his skin pigmentation. They start to zip him up in a body bag, but Roy, he's not having it. He spits to show he's alive. Talk about a spit of defiance. His sheer will to live, not to mention to avoid being pronounced dead prematurely, earns him a ride back home. And what does he get for all this trouble? Well, besides a bunch of scars and a century's worth of trauma, he receives a shiny Medal of Honor, presented by none other than President Reagan himself.
Saved the lives of at least 8 men. His fearless personal leadership, tenacious devotion to duty, and extremely valorous actions in the face of overwhelming odds were in keeping with the finest traditions of the military service and reflect the utmost credit on him and the United States Army. Sergeant Benavidez a nation grateful to you and to all your comrades living and dead, awards you its highest symbol of gratitude for service above and beyond the call of duty, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Roy Benavidez, folks. Part man, part myth, all hero. His story isn't just a war story. It's a blockbuster movie waiting to happen. But until Hollywood gets its act together, we've got his incredible legacy to keep us entertained and inspired. If you loved hearing about Roy the Hero as much as I love telling it, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications for more mind-blowing stories. Remember, folks, if ever there's a day you feel like you can't possibly get through, just think of Roy. Because if he could walk through hell with a smile, surely we can conquer our Monday blues with a little bit of that same heroic spirit. I hope to see you guys soon. Until next time, I'm Chris, signing off.